What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I'm back with another guide. This time we'll be talking about Skarner Jungle. The following subjects will be mentioned in this guide: champion description, abilities, leveling order, runes, masteries, the item build, and ending off with the jungle routes. If you want to go to a specific subject, you can click on it right now. Champion description. Skarner is a really strong and fast clearing jungler. Since his buffs in patch 5.16, Skarner has become really broken, but building him the way I do in this video will keep him strong even if they were going to nerf him after this patch. Skarner excels at objective control because of his crystals. He can do a solo dragon as soon as he gets his devourer, and he can solo a baron at 5 items. Which is actually kinda stupid, because you shouldn't be able to solo baron on such a tanky champion. Besides all this, Skarner also has great ganks pre-6, and after 6 those ganks become even better. So if you like a champion that fires really fast, has really good objective control and good ganks, Skarner is definitely the champion for you. Skarner's abilities. His passive, Crystal Spires. Skarner's presence causes a number of Crystal Spires to appear at set points on the battlefield, which can be captured by champions who stand near them for 2 seconds. Once captured, Crystal Spires are owned until contested, and the defending team can stand on the spire to prevent the opposing team from capturing it. Crystal Spires grant 30 gold split amongst its captors, upon being captured, or 15 gold if only a single champion participated in this capture, and it also provides a side around them for 1.5 seconds upon being captured, becoming impossible to recapture for 15 seconds. Crystal Charge. While within range of Crystal Spire or an enemy is stunned by Fracture or suppressed with Impale, Skarner gains 100 bonus movement speed, bonus attack speed, and restores 3% maximum mana every second. Really try to focus on getting control over these points where you are trying to go for objectives like Baron and Dragon. Also keep the 2 points in your own jungle capped at all times, since this will speed up your jungle clear by a lot. You don't really want to cap other points in the opposing jungle until the mid to late game, because capping will alert the opponent of your location and they might collapse on you if you're not careful. His first ability, Crystal Slash. Skarner deals physical damage to all enemies within range, also causing subsequent uses of Crystal Slash within a 4th second to deal bonus magic damage to the enemy it hits. Basic attacks reduce Crystal Slash's cooldown by 0.25 seconds, quadrupled to 1 against enemy champions. This is your main damage skill, so you want to make sure you keep spamming this when you're fighting enemies. And the skill will also proc cleaver hits for the armor shred passive. His second ability, Crystalline Exoskeleton. Skarner shields himself for up to 6 seconds, gaining bonus movement speed that increases by an additional 16% over 3 seconds while the shield holds. This shield becomes bigger the more health you have, as it scales from max health. Use this skill to get around the map and also help you tank the damage from your jungle. You can just spam this skill whenever it's up, because you won't have any mana problems due to the mana regen from your passive whilst it fires. His third ability, Fracture. Skarner launches a blast of energy forward in a line that deals magic damage and slows the first 6 enemies it hits for 2.5 seconds, as well as marking them with Crystal Venom for 5 seconds. Fracture's missiles slow down every time it hits an enemy champion. Skarner's next basic attack against a target marked with Crystalline Venom consumes the mark to deal bonus physical damage and stun them for 1 second. Fracture's cooldown is reduced by 1 second whenever he stuns a target with Fracture, and 1.75 seconds whenever he suppresses an enemy with Impale. You pretty much only want to use the skill for utility in ganking and teamfights. You don't really want to use the skill on your jungle camps, as it will not really do much since your clear is so fast regardless. So keep this up for potential invades from the enemy jungler. It's much better so you can then stun them and deal a lot of damage to them. His fourth ability, Impale. Skarner rears his stinger, rooting his target for 0.25 seconds as he brings it down, dealing 100% of his AD in physical damage, some magic damage, and suppressing them for 1.75 seconds. At the end of the duration, the target takes the same damage again. For the duration, Skarner can move freely and drag his victim around, but he cannot attack them. You want to use this skill to catch people in teamfights or gank people in the earlier game. Ganking people with this ultimate will pretty much always result in a free kill, so try to make use of this as much as you can. Also remember to step the other way near the end of the duration so you can get that little extra distance out of it. Leveling these abilities. On level 1 I start with my Q because this offers you the fastest initial camp clear. Then on level 2 I take my W for the shield to help me tank some damage. On level 3 I take a second point into my Q because with the crystals you don't really need to stun or buff your E offers in your jungle with the first rotation. So take a second point into your Q will just help you clear faster. Then on level 4 I take a point into my E. As far as maxing goes, I'll max my Q first since this is your main damage skill. Then I'll max my W second for the increased movement speed and bigger shield it offers. And I'll max my E last since you only need this skill for the utility it offers. Of course you want to level your ult whenever possible. The runes. I go for 9 flat 80 marks, 9 flat armor seals, 9 scaling CDR glyphs and 3 flat movement speed quints. I get the 9 attack damage marks to allow Skarner to clear his jungle faster, since with every auto attack he does, the cooldown of his Q gets lowered a bit. So with the extra AD, your Q will deal a lot more damage. And of course this means a faster jungle clear, since this is your main damage skill for that. 9 flat armor seals are just to survive my jungle early. Then I take 9 scaling CDR glyphs, personally because with the build I use, this will allow me to get 40% cooldown reduction, which is really nice. If you don't want to go for one of my builds, then you can swap out the scaling CDR glyph from scaling magic resist glyphs. This will help you tank better in the later stages of the game. And finally, I take 3 movement speed quints to allow me to roam the map faster and catch people easier with my ultis. The Masteries. I go for 21-9-0 on Skarner, focusing on getting that 5% cooldown reduction to cap the cooldown reduction out with my build. Again, if you don't want to go for my damage build but more of a tanky Skarner build, then it's better to just swap out the CDR points for some extra attack speed to help you more in the early game. The rest is pretty basic. Spell and blade weaving because Skarner combines auto attacks and spells a lot. Then I take the increased AD because Skarner actually gets a lot of damage out of this due to the way you can spam your Q. And in the defensive tree I just take slow reduction, some increased health and better jungle defenses. The item build. I have 2 different item builds for Skarner. Build 1 is the build I prefer using. This is a very high damage build that will also make you quite tanky. And then build 2 is more of a full tank Skarner build. Going for this build with a cleaver will mean you'll still do a good amount of damage, but you can pretty much never die. Alright, now let me explain both builds. Build number 1. I start with a machete, 2 health potions and a warding trinket. After my initial clear, I go back and buy the Stalker's upgrade to my jungle item to help me catch up to people, since Skarner needs to get quite close to do anything. And a pair of regular boots to help me roam around the map faster. After this you want to start building into a Devourer enchant. I get the Devourer because Skarner farms so insanely fast with the use of his crystals that you can stack this up no problem. It also offers Skarner more attack speed, so his Q cooldown will get lower faster. After you finish your Devourer, you want to build yourself a Cutlass and finish this into a Blade of the Rune King. I get this item because it gives me an active to catch people, and it also combines really well with the Devourer once it turns stated. After Blade of the Rune King, you want to finish your boots into a pair of ninja tabbies. These boots are just the best boots in the game. They reduce so much damage. After you finish your boots, you want to start building into a black cleaver. The reason I get cleaver is because it will offer me 40% cooldown reduction, but it will also offer you a lot more armor spread, meaning that you will deal more damage the more you hit the target. And it also offers you a good amount of health, which makes your W shield stronger. After this, build into a Deadman's Plate. This item is just beast on Skarner. It offers you a lot of health and this means more shields. It also offers you armor and movement speed. And this last one is the best stat Skarner can have, because you need to get close to catch people. After this you want to finish your build off with a Maw. The reason I get Maw is because it's pretty much the best MR item in the game. It offers you flat MR plus a shield when you get low health. And it also offers you more damage the lower your health bar drops, and this makes lifesteal more effective. Now, at this stage you have 6 items, but you can upgrade your build even more by selling your boots for a Phantom Dancer and your Devourer for an Infinity Edge. Doing this will make you insanely strong, and you won't lose much movement speed, because of Deadman's Plate and your W. Also at this stage in the game, the Devourer will deal less damage, so it's not really worth keeping. And then for build 2, you want to start with a Hunter's Machete, 2 health potions and a warding trinket. After your initial clear you go back and buy the Stalker's upgrade to your jungle item, for the same reasons as before, and a pair of regular boots. After this you want to finish your jungle item into a Cinderhawk enchant. Cinderhawk will pretty much just give you a shitload of health, and a really big shield. After Cinderhawk you want to finish your boots into ninja tabbies, also for the same reasons as before. Then after this you want to build into a black cleaver. This item will offer you health, CDR and armor pen, and will still allow you to deal a very good amount of damage while being insanely tanky. Also the 20% cooldown reduction will mean that you get your W back in no time, so you can just spam this to get massive shields. After your cleaver you want to build into a Deadman's Plate, again for the same reasons as before. This item is just a must on Skarner. After this you want to build into a Thornmill. The reason I got Thornmill is because the massive armor increase it gives, and also the passive effect to reflect damage back to your enemy. And to finish this build off you want to get yourself a Banshees for the extra MR and extra health, and of course that nice spell shield. As a final thing in this build, you should replace your jungle item with a Warmox, because this will actually give you more health, and it also gives you the massive health regen Warmox offers you. With this build you will have 40% cooldown reduction on level 18, and you will have a shield that will give you around 600 health every 6 seconds. As far as trinkets go, you want to swap your trinket to a sweeping lens after you finish your jungle item and upgrade this to an oracle lens at level 9. The jungle routes. Whilst the way I clear with Skarner plays in the background, I want to talk to you guys about how to efficiently farm on Skarner, as well as how to gank and what to do in the mid to late game. So let's start with the efficient clearing first. Due to the crystals on the map, Skarner has a very quick clear, and if you make use of this, you can path through your jungle very fast from camp to camp. All you have to do on each camp is auto attack and spam Q. And use your W once per camp generally, unless this is the very early game and you're not clearing that fast yet. You don't want to use your E on any camps that are within the crystal's range because there isn't really no reason to. You want to use your E on camps that are outside of the range of the crystals because this will speed up clearing that camp by a lot. Scuttle is the exception to this rule because the stun your E offers will actually speed up clearing this by a lot. As far as ganking goes, you generally want to try to walk onto the lane from behind to hit your target with your E and then follow up with that auto attack to stun the target. And when you're level 6 you can just walk to them from behind, then ult the target, walk towards your ally and step the other way to turn around so you can get a little extra distance in and then use your E and stun them after. Doing this with your ultimate will pretty much always make the gank 100% kill. Then for the mid and late game stage, you pretty much just want to try to fight around your crystals as much as you can, so you can get all of those extra stats. Try to focus targets that are within your range when you're trying to go for my build number 1. And when you're going for my build number 2, you generally want to try to dive into the enemy team, ulti one of their carries to single them out for a kill. Thank you guys so much for watching this guide. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a like and a comment below as I love reading them. If you want to see more guides like this, subscribe. And suggest what champion you would like to see me make a guide on next. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!